Good evening, everybody. Today is the 8th of July, as according to the old calendar. I am, of course, Reader Lazar. Welcome to the Voice of British Orthodoxy. We have a few saints again today, so let's get right into it. Our first saint of the day is Saint Edgar the Peaceful, and he is from the 10th century. The son of King Edmund I, Saint Edgar the Peaceful became king of Mercia and Northumbria in AD 957. And upon the death of his brother, Edwig, King of all England, as king, St. Edgar appointed St. Dunstan, who we commemorate back on the 19th of May, to the See of Canterbury. St. Ethelwald, commemorated on the 1st of August, to the See of Winchester. And St. Oswald, who we commemorate back on the 20th of February, to the See of Worcester. And then to the See of York. St. Edgar was a supporter of monastic reform and was instrumental in driving the secular clergy from the old and new ministers at Winchester and other houses. Though his initiative, the Synodal Council of Winchester, was convened. Through his initiative, the Synodal Council at Winchester was convened, which resulted in promulgation of Regularis Concordia. King St. Edgar the Peaceful reposed AD 975. His reign is remembered as a time of great order and prosperity, hence he became known as the Peaceful. He has a Troparion in tone 8, which goes down as follows. Look down from heaven upon us, thy children. O right believe in Edgar, thou king who reignest no longer over England, but dwellest in the mansions of heaven, and accepting our peaceful entreaties, establish the Holy Orthodox Faith throughout thy land, and protected by thine intercession on high, that it may triumph at last over the manifold errors of this age. Normally in the book, it normally ends with each comma, so it's normally done by sentence, but that was weird. Only this first sentence was debatably done properly, but even then there was still a comma. Anyway, our next saint is... his entry in the group chat is Saint Edgar the Peaceful, King of Mercia and Northumbria, and upon the death of his brother Edwig, King of all England. He repented of a depraved youth, and his reign was marked by a strong religious revival in England. Our next saint is Saint Grimbald, and he's from the 9th century. Saint Grimbald was a monk at St. Bertin Abbey in St. Omer in Flanders, notable for his advanced learning. In AD 885, he was invited by King Alfred the Great to help restore scholarship in England. So that is, of course, St. Alfred the Great, who we will commemorate later on in the year. Initially, he served the schools at Oxford as their first professor of divinity. Upon the repose of Ethelred, King Alfred the Great offered St. Grimbald the See of Canterbury, but he declined, and made abbot of the new minster at Winchester, where he remained until his repose in AD 901. In the group chat, his entry is St. Grimbald, monk at St. Bertin Abbey in St. Omer in Flanders, invited by King St. Alfred the Great to help restore scholarship in England, Abbot of Winchester, 901. Our next entry, as according to this, is actually Morvenna, and she is from the 5th century. A Cornish saint, Saint Morvenna may have been the daughter of King St. Brychan of Brychaniog, who was apparently commemorated back on the 6th of April. She is often confused with St. Modvenna, who we commemorate back on the 5th of July, who lived 2 centuries later. Several places are named after her, most notably Moor Wenstall, Cornwall, England, where her relics are believed to have been buried under the floor of the village of St. Morvenna and John the Baptist. In the group chat, it just simply says St. Morvenna, patroness of Morwenstow, England, 5th or 6th century. Next, saint is Saint Urith of Chipplehampton, and she is potentially from the 6th century, because there's a question mark at the end. A fairly obscure saint, Saint Ulrich is not mentioned in any of the standard historical hagiographies and menologies. The most popular legend of her life claims that she was probably a nun murdered by a Saxon or possibly Vikings invaders at Chipplehampton in Devon, England. A church was later built over the site of her grave, her holy well now called by the corruption of her name, Taddywell or St. Tiara's Well, still stands at the east end of Chipplehampton. The group chat says St. Urith of Chipplehampton, Hieritha, in brackets after that, a nun martyred by pagan English invaders at Chipplehampton in Devon. And our final saint of the day in the book, anyway, is Saint Witber, also known as Withburger, and she is from the 7th century. Saint Withber was the youngest daughter of Anna, King of East Anglia, present-day England, who, following the repose of her father, received monastic tonsure and lived as an anchoress at East Dereham, Norfolk. She reposed circa AD 643. Her relics were enshrined with those of her sisters, Saint Ethelreda, who we commemorated back on the 23rd of June, and Saxber, who we commemorate on the 26th of June. I mean, I'm pretty sure she would have been commemorated back then. Anyway, in Ely Cathedral on the 17th of October, AD 1106. Her particular entry in the group chat is Saint Withber of East Anglia, Withburger, an anchoress at East Dereham, Norfolk, England, c. 743. The next saint I'll read for you is Saint Kilian. His entry is only in the group chat and goes as follows. Saints Kilian, Chilianus, Coleman, and Tottenham. So this is three saints. Monks from Ireland, enlighteners of Franconia and East Thuringia in Germany, where they were martyred in 689. And our final entry of the day is for Irish Virgin Martyr Urith and companions on Selja Island, Norway. And they were martyred in the 10th century. May those saints intercede for us before the righteous judge. I have, of course, been Rita Lazar. I have once again forgotten to bring up Thingy for you all, so I will fix that immediately. Only the most professional content onto here, as you can tell. I gotta open it up like this. Right, Right, as you can see, this Saturday, which is the 26th of July, 2025, English Divine Liturgy, 9 a.m, St. Lazar's, and then for 4 p.m. we will be in Winchcombe, which is in Cheltenham. Address can be found down here. And we will be having our day dedicated, our particular Saturday, where we will be celebrating St. Kenelm, who is Child Martyr of Mercia. He was a prince and he was a martyr. If you are able to come, that is obviously great. I hope to see many of you there. I hope you all can make it, because it will be a good day of celebrating one of the saints that will be coming up in, next week. I think 1 week today is when we actually do commemorate Saint Kenelm, the actual day. Because I don't think the actual day is the Saturday. Yeah, he's commemorated on the 17th of, his proper day is the 17th of July, but that's like 10 days away, as according to the old calendar anyway, and so yeah, as that would bleed into August, we will be celebrating his day on the 26th, which will be in 5 days. Anyway, I've been Rita Lazar. I will leave Thingy's Troparion in the description for you. God bless you all, and Amen.